Oh, one thing like I thought that was fascinating was the Thomas the Tank Engine Train. Like he
Oh
was
yeah.
named after that, which is funny because I had a friend who came from Korea as an immigrant, and he needed a name, and so he named himself George because of Curious George. All right, what's going on, everyone? So we got an exciting review and reaction to episode 4, which is called "Prove It." And before I get into that, I have Edgar here. He's back again, and so welcome back, brother.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're talking about episode 4. This was one that I was kind of waiting for, and so it's called "Prove It." So it's about this rising star. Let me give you a quick recap. So a rising star in Tom Kim, right? So he's only 21, I believe, and I have to say
20.
like 20. Yeah, 20, right? Okay, so 20, still young, you know. Um, like you can tell this guy's all about smiles, and he even when he gets lost at Augusta, and not only that, we see scenes of him like jumping into the mud, getting dirty at the PGA Championship, and then not only that, but we also see just his even at a young age, just showing grinding it out at the 2023 Open Championship, right? And so just seeing his like determination and grit, and also you kind of see like also really talking about him being young and trying to really prove it, right? And so this guy, Tom Kim, he's got it all. I think like the talent, the humor, competitive edge. Like I said, he's young. But like I said, I feel like this one was one that I was waiting for. And I was actually kind of surprised that he actually got his own solo episode. But before I kind of go into what I think, why don't you kick it off, Edgar? I would love to know what you were thinking, your thoughts on Tom Kim.
I appreciated a young golfer having his perspective and also someone who's rising up in the PGA and just being childlike. That's what I felt like this whole entire episode was very, childlike in the sense that he brought some youthfulness,
Hmm.
less seriousness to the PGA and more youthfulness, more grind, more him being a 20-year-old competing against some professional people. And if you put into perspective, he is a 20-year-old competing against some Rory McIlroy,
Yeah.
Thomas, JT, all these like, incredible people that have a trajectory of a long history in golf. And here's this 20-year-old going into the mud, trying to grind it out, and he didn't even find his ball. That
Oh, yeah.
that's those are the type of things that it just makes me root for him, but also it brought that new side to the show, and it was good to see a different perspective of an immigrant in,
Hmm.
in Netflix series, and I was able to see, I was able to connect with him a lot in certain perspectives. But maybe I want to hear you, Phil. How did you catch that, my friend? You're Korean.
I
Were you
know,
rooting
right?
for him?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even before the Netflix series, like as a Korean, as a Korean, you can't help to root for him, right? Also, just because of his personality. So as this Netflix was coming, or as they showed the previews, and I saw that he was on there, this was one that I was really excited for, and yeah, I mean, big part of it is because yeah, he's Korean. But there's part of me too when I was actually watching it. I don't know. I just felt a little bit. I have two thoughts on the overall episode. So, one, I'll get to the main one that kind of bothered. No, I don't want to say bother me, but a little bit worried. So, him being young, right? Him being young, and then he's really goofy and silly. I just wonder if he's like kind of like really hiding behind that goofiness, if it's all of a front, especially at a young age. You kept saying like he's a young age, he's an immigrant in a
Mhm.
different country. He started his professional golfing at 15, at age 15. So really, he never had it. It's funny, like you say that this childlike, right? But he never really had like a childhood, I would say, growing up. And then I know they didn't. They kind of went into his the history between like his family, his parents or whatnot, and brothers, I think. But I wish we got a little bit more of that. And the fact that he's so young, and it seems like he doesn't have any peers as well, too, like his age. I think his only like friend is his agent, and then like everyone else, like Jordan Spieth, which is I don't know, or and his coach. So it's just kind of like I'm afraid that like I wonder if he'll go down the road of like Joel Dummon, like because of all this fame, will he end up through depression? Hopefully not, or some kind of like a mental breakdown or whatnot through this fame, especially at a young age. You know, you always hear about like those childhood like celebrities, and then they end up becoming this like I don't know, like they go through like difficult times, end up getting tatted up, doing drugs and all that. I just hope that doesn't happen for him. I don't know.
I think it has to do more with and I noticed that too. He was very lonely. You know, his rides home were alone.
Right.
You know, and I kept noting, I did that, and it did bother me as well. I'm like, you see all these other individuals that we see throughout the episodes, and they all have someone there with them, driving with them, having dinner with them.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm just like, wait, who does he have? And I don't know I don't know more of the history. And like you mentioned, we don't know it's just a little bit about the family history, but not a whole lot of the family. But yeah, it's worrisome to see him not have that core group.
Yeah.
Aside from his agent. And for me, it was like, hey, you know, this guy needs some people. He's 20 years old. He's grinding it out, being a professional. He needs some help. Not help in the sense of like, but he just needs people around him at this age who's gonna guide him. Aside from the agent. The agent's very busy. We saw that. He's like, I just want to get a chocolate.
I know. Yeah. I feel like even just like the comment that he mentioned like to the camera person about him not having a girlfriend, and like even that, like the being self-conscious about, you know, not having a girlfriend. I feel like those little micro like moments like that of loneliness will probably affect him. I don't know. Maybe we're digging a little too deep. I don't know,
I don't think so. But that's kind of the thing, the perspective. Like, you know, he changed his name, and that's very common.
That's right.
You know, that's very common in cultures when you come and immigrate into a country, and he changed his name. It's a whole new world for him. He's adjusting pretty well, you can see, and all that stuff. But I think that having his family, not having probably his parents there, because we didn't see any shots of the parents. I don't know if they're even living in the US or they're back in Korea. So for me, it's just like, hey man, like he's living a lonely world, grinding it out. And you know, I not that I can relate in that sense, but that's the story for a lot of immigrants and people who come and, you know, are just trying to make the big bucks and to support the family. So that's kind of, I noticed that throughout the episode.
Yeah, that's true. And then also one thing that kind of reminds me, the Korean culture, like respect is such an important thing, and especially being so young and wanting that respect that he wants that respect from the other players. Who knows what he's really thinking? You know, all the players there, like I think JT even mentioned, like they have some like respect for each other, but they're all sharks. You know that. You know they're doing it for themselves. And so yeah, I just feel like I hope Tom can surround himself, at least have some kind of the right support, especially at that young age.
Yeah.
I mean, we both have dealt with like youth, right? And youth who don't get the right support, and how challenging that could be for just one individual. Imagine someone on the PGA Tour at his age, right? With a lot of money.
Yeah, and you look at all the other golfers talk about reaching that point in their life where, you know, they're not finding themselves in golf and stuff. So he's 20 years old, man, and this kid has a super bright future. I'm super. I'm keeping track of him, and I've seen that this year he hasn't won anything, and he's been pretty low in the leaderboards. He hasn't been top 10, and I haven't seen any of his on the last tours.
Yeah.
So my hope is that, like with Damon, we don't see a downhill for him, but that he finds the right people to surround him to be able to get him better. He had Tiger Woods coaching him.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Como,
I
right?
think sport wise he has it, but I think it's gonna get to the point where he's gonna need people around him to continue to push him to the mental state that he can to be a complete ultimate athlete.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Tiger Woods coach Como, I love that scene where, you know, Tom was kind of like questioning, like he doesn't really care about the process, but he wants the outcome, like anybody, right? You just want the outcome of what, but really, after what the coach Como said, like, it's like Tiger was more about the process, and then I think Tom said something about like, yeah, that's why he's the best, right? Talking about Tiger Woods. It's so true. I feel like a lot of us, especially in this world today, we just want the results right away, right? I feel that's very relatable for me. I just want to get there, but not really appreciating the process, the in between, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought that was deep. I love that scene.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts on Tom Kim that you got?
No, I think that's all my thoughts. I hope that there's people, and maybe next season we see a whole new Tom with people around him, people simply eating lunch with him or dinner with him. Eat a sandwich with him, man. He just wants a sandwich.
If Tom watches this, we'll hang out with him. We'll be his
We'll hang out with him. We'll go with you.
One thing. One thing, like I thought that was fascinating was the Thomas the Tank Engine train. Like he was named after that, which is funny because I had a friend who came from Korea as an immigrant, and he needed a name, and so he named himself George because of Curious George. I wonder if that's a thing. Like you just name your name. I don't know. You give yourself a name after like an American toy or something, or Toy Story or a story. All right, so thanks for taking the time to talk about episode 4. If you haven't subscribed or liked, please do that. We'll continue to create content like this. Any last thoughts?
Nope, that's it. Subscribe and like this video.
Cool. We'll talk to you guys later.